It's that time of the week for the San Francisco 49ers as they get ready to take on their second practice of the week as they get prepared to play the Arizona Cardinals and have a huge opportunity to clinch and win the NFC West, which would be a great step forward for the San Francisco 49ers on their path to the 1 seed into the Super Bowl. But we have some updates in regards to practice availabilities. Now, as you guys already know, these are things that we monitor throughout the week that help us understand who is and who is not going to be available on Sundays. So, we've got today's reports, and obviously, we will also compare those to yesterday's reports to see who's trending in the right direction and who's not. So, let's take a look at the practice reports for today's practice on Thursday. This one via Nick Wagner of ESPN. He goes on to say, and this is during the early portion of practice. Um, Beat reporters are only available to be on hand at practice for the kind of individual drills. And then once they get into team drills, 9-on-7, blitz pickup, 11-on-11, whatever it may be, they aren't allowed to be there because obviously they don't want any kind of schematic or game planning type things to get out. So that's why media will then leave and wait for the interviews in the locker room or at the podium. But this is what we got. So defensive lineman Eric Armstead not practicing. We know he's going to be out this week already. It's not official, but it's been alluded to a couple times. Same thing with tight end Ross Dwelly, who's expected to miss multiple weeks. However, uh, what is interesting here is Elijah Mitchell not practicing. And the reason why that is interesting because yesterday he put up a limited participation. So it did appear that Elijah Mitchell was trending in the right direction. However, he is not trending in the right direction anymore if he goes from a limited participation to a DNP. So that is one of the trends that we are identifying with these practice reports. And again, Elijah Mitchell has been having a really hard time with his health these past 2 seasons. So um, obviously, anytime you can have your guys healthy, that's a great spot to be in. But the fact that he goes from limited to DNP is not a good sign for running back Elijah Mitchell, who appeared to be trending in the right direction as of yesterday. Today, not so much. Now, this is another interesting one. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw didn't practice today, and I believe that will be the second day in a row that he didn't practice. Now, this is a name where we are going to be all over practice reports for Friday like a hawk, because if he doesn't participate on Friday, that means he is trending towards not being available for this game against the Cardinals. At minimum, we are always looking for a limited participation on Fridays if they don't practice the first 2 days, because there is a chance that they do go that weekend. They'll likely be a questionable tag, but questionable trending in the right direction. However, this now puts me on high alert for Dre Greenlaw's availability with the fact that he has not practiced 2 days in a row. So hopefully that's not an issue because we already know Oren Burks is going to be out multiple weeks. So the 49ers, if this goes the wrong direction with Dre Greenlaw, you could be looking at a situation where your first three linebackers up on Sunday are going to be Fred Warner, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, and D Winters, the rookie, and potentially Jalen Graham, the other rookie, sprinkled in. So getting kind of thin at the linebacker position for the San Francisco 49ers. And obviously, we'll continue to monitor this situation between Dre Greenlaw, who I would say is the player that we have the most questions about currently today, not practicing. Now, these sound like they're trending in a better direction. Defensive tackle Javon Hargrave and cornerback Mooney Ward were working on the side. So When they say they're working on the side, that's typically means they're working with the trainers, doing some light kind of practices and things like that, kind of again more rehab focused work um, off to the side. But it's better than not participating at all. And these were the kind of top two guys that we have been clued into based on what had happened against the Seahawks. Hargrave dealing with a hamstring, Mooney Ward dealing with a groin, and we're in and out of the game against the Seahawks. So this Friday becomes a very important practice update for these three players, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave, and Mooney Ward, because that will give us and paint a better picture of what their availability is going to be like. So, although the 49ers are relatively healthy, obviously losing Eric Armstead isn't great. Elijah Mitchell has been the RB2. And if you lose Dre Greenlaw, Hargrave, or Mooney Ward, that's not great either. And Orrin Burks has been a key special teamer and the third linebacker up and has played well in spots. So hopefully the 49ers can get as healthy as they can heading into this game, but we do have some good news. It's not all bad news. Spencer Burford is back at practice, and so is Ambry Thomas. So this is good news for the 49ers. But again, the 49ers have a very interesting dilemma on their hand, considering the fact that Jonathan Feliciano has just been playing so well. Um, it's crazy. Like he's a starter. Jonathan Feliciano's a starter. Spencer Burford's a starter. I feel like Spencer Burford, before he's missed time, I would say since the Bucks, he's played really well. So it'll be very interesting to see what the 49ers do at guard. It does appear based on how it happened last time that they'll slide Spencer Burford back into the starting lineup if he comes back from injury. But again, Jonathan Feliciano is playing great. And you guys know that I don't really take into account PFF grades for offensive linemen. To me, it's a low key a fraudulent metric for being able to grade offensive linemen. But as we always say, if it's my narrative, Jonathan Feliciano is the highest graded right guard according to PFF in the NFL last week. So again, take it for what it's worth. I take it with a grain of salt, but it is a metric, and they do stack against others. And according to that, Jonathan Feliciano was the highest graded right guard. So take it for what it's worth. And of course, cornerback Ambry Thomas being back is going to be big as well. The 49ers have been dinged up a little bit in the secondary, but as a result of that, the 49ers brought back a familiar face. They brought back Jason Verrett and to the practice squad. And this was a cool gesture by them all throughout the stadium. There's monitors everywhere, and on all those monitors was this picture: welcome home, JV. That's pretty darn cool. And again, it's one of the things that I've talked about the most in the return of Jason Verrett is that he was such a leader in this locker room for from 2019 to 2021. He was a guy that you know, he's a captain's captain kind of a guy. He's that type of presence. So, uh, and you don't ever see this for a practice squad signing. Like you never see this. So this again just shows the importance of Jason Verrett as a person, as a guy in this locker room who has the respect of the entire franchise. So if he ever plays, like actually gets in and plays snaps for the 49ers, it's amazing. That's a win right there. So we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, he's dealt with a lot of injuries, but that'll be something that we continue to, cross our fingers and just hope he stays healthy. And if he does stay healthy, if he can get in some games, boy, that would be absolutely phenomenal. So, what do you guys think of the practice reports? Are you concerned about some of these players? Should we rest these guys? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the return of Jason Brett, this gesture by the 49ers. I want to hear from you. So drop it in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.